I love virtual reality. It's been nearly a year since my last video, and part of the reasoning behind that is because I haven't really found anything worth talking about. And then I decided to pick up my busted up 6-year-old Vive once again. Man, this is just the coolest thing in the world. Have you ever played a game and felt like it would be cool if you could actually just be there and interact with the world and its wacky characters? You can literally do that shit in VR. I've had my eye on VR ever since these things started showing up everywhere on YouTube, and watching it grow has just been wild. Since I've been playing it a lot recently, and I can only talk about things in the best possible way or the worst possible way, without further ado, here are 5 reasons why VR is the greatest invention ever made, ever. Do not forget, I am extremely smart, and this is objective truth. Number 5. It's a one-of-a-kind immersive experience. There is literally no possible way I can accurately describe what being immersed in a world where I've got telekinesis and I'm actually fearing for my life feels like. It's like this strange combination of fear and excitement that just make for the most fun possible experience. Actually having to move around, pick things up, dodge bullets, and fight people just makes everything so much more fun and engaging. Exploring planets and discovering new species in No Man's Sky is 1,000 times more fun when you're actually there doing it instead of sitting in front of a screen. I mean, you can literally be inside of Minecraft. You can build a house, you can be inside of it, and it really feels like you're there. Is there anything cooler than that? When VR is done right and you really feel part of that world, it's a feeling like no other. Number 4, it's easy to get into. When VR started to blow up again in 2016, it would cost you a goddamn arm and a leg to get your hands on one. First you would have to buy the headset, which is only the low price of $800, and then once you have the headset, you need to make sure your computer is a state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line gaming monster. And then you would have to dedicate a whole area just for VR by setting up all these cameras and sensors around your room. Nowadays, all you need is $400 and a dream. Now I know $400 is still a lot of money, but if you save $10 every single week, you've got that sucker in under a year. Not to mention how incredible this little $400 gift from God is. This thing has 0 wires. It doesn't need a $1 million PC to use it. And it can even run Bone Lab. And all these other amazing games like Resident Evil and fucking Beat Saber and this Walking Dead game that's really cool. You can use this thing anywhere and there's no extra wires you have to set up or computers you gotta plug into. Everything is done through the headset itself. Thanks to the Quest 2, VR is now easier than ever to get into. Now let's get to the next point. Number 3. Healthy gaming. Believe it or not, but actually having to move around and do shit while playing a game is a lot harder than it looks. Some of these games really be kicking my ass. Imagine being able to lose weight just from playing video games all day. There's even games specifically designed to work your ass out while also being fun as hell. Box VR is a perfect example of this. It's a great cardio exercise while also pretty much just being Beat Saber. All these damn boxing, fighting, and really any action game that has you moving around a lot can really get you sweating from just a little bit of playing. Now, it's probably not the best idea to just play VR games instead of actually going to the gym or working out, but using it as a quick cardio workout at home could get you some pretty good results. Going to the gym is friggin' hard sometimes, and if you ever miss it, you could always just pick up a headset and put your ass to work at home. Number 2. Beat Saber. Beat Saber is pretty much synonymous with VR at this point. You can't go 5 minutes talking about VR without bringing up Beat Saber. Now this point isn't just about Beat Saber, but all these wacky, fun, endless types of games that you can just pick up and play at any time. Have you ever just been sitting around just craving to play some ping pong? Boom! It's in VR. Have you ever wanted to take a trip to the gun range, but you're too afraid of guns? Boom! It's in VR. These games are just so incredibly fun, and there's so goddamn many of them. And you can't forget that some of this shit can only be experienced in VR. There's no way in hell anyone could possibly turn Gorilla Tag into a real thing. Speaking of Gorilla Tag, multiplayer games in general are some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. Technically being able to see who you're talking to and what they're doing takes things to a whole nother level. People can actually have real, lasting, and emotional relationships completely in VR, which is insane, but so amazing at the same time. I could talk about how insane the VR section of the Steam store is for hours, but I think it's time to bring out the big guns. Number 1. The unlimited potential. Have you ever noticed how many VR headsets there actually are? We got the Vives, we got the Quest 2, the HP Reaver, the Oculus,
the
Vico
Neo,
Vico
Goblin,
the VR Hero, VR, and there's still more coming out and improving on previous versions. VR is still young and growing, which is so crazy to think about. CES just happened and we got to see so many amazing things when it comes to VR. Even before this year, treadmills are a thing and haptic suits are a thing and all these gloves and crazy shit you can do to truly immerse yourself in the game. Take a look at Thrill Seeker. This man already has a somewhat working Ready Player One setup in his home. And this was 6 months ago. All I'm saying is, if you're interested in VR now, imagine what it could look like in 10 years. Yeah, there's a chance that it could turn out terrible, but I'm really optimistic about this shit. We have made so many gigantic leaps in VR since the Virtual Boy, and there really is nowhere to go from here but up. Anyways, if you've made it this far into the video, you are clearly a fellow intellectual, and I greatly appreciate you. And considering some of the comments on the last one, I should probably say that VR is obviously not the greatest invention ever made ever. But I really do love this shit, man. With everything that's coming out and how advanced it's getting so quickly is honestly pretty exciting to me. So I just felt like sharing that excitement a bit. So if you enjoyed this at all, please leave a like and tell me your thoughts on VR or what you'd like to see next from this channel, or don't. Also, you could subscribe or not. Either way, I'll still love you. But do check out Dome Zone. If you don't, I'll no longer love you. Bye bye now. Mwah.